So there needs to be a person, there needs to be responsibility, there needs to be performance, action. So, and I think the key thing that I liked is they spoke about an individual or an organization. So meaning that it starts with you. You need to take that and say, as Katleho, what am I accountable for?
So that for me is very important, that there's many different layers to, accountability. It grows. It's like, it's what will lead you to where you're trying to go. A six-pack. It's very real. Okay, since last year. I was like, I want a six-pack, and it's been a journey. It's been, yay, but it's getting there. We will get there. And when I have it, I'm going to.
You know what she's basically saying? I want to enter Mrs. Universe Africa. I want to lose maybe 20 pounds. I want to build muscle. I want a YouTube channel. It needs to be clear for me first. So that when I tell her about it, she understands it, and then she can hold me accountable and say, well, did you run this morning? Did you...
Hi, Queen. Yes, you. We are talking to you, with you, and about you. I'm Deliwe.
And I'm Katleho. And welcome to our third episode. Woohoo!
Dear Queen.
We are so excited to have you guys, and thank you for coming back. Please, guys, do follow us on our social media. We are on Instagram. We are on
YouTube, obviously.
And the most wonderful one, TikTok. So look out for us, guys, and just follow us. Please do follow us.
Yeah, it's Dear Queen everywhere. And I'm so particularly excited for TikTok because it's going to be exciting. You may not necessarily see us with this outfit, these type of outfits.
Yeah.
It'll be such a cool vibe.
Chilled,
like it'll be very chilled.
Like
it will be
in our element of chilledness, whatever that is. But look out for it, please.
We'll make lots and lots of jokes. It's gonna be fun. Like I'm looking forward to it.
It's gonna be great. Yeah. So now that we've told you where you can find us, we just wanted to give you feedback on how are you?
Yeah, actually.
How are you?
I'm good, hey? I'm very good. I like to say my daughter, who's 3, Nandi, likes to say, I'm feeling happy. I feel happy. So I'm also feeling very happy, like in the very same context as her. I feel like the same happiness of a child, That's just how I feel right now. Like that's where I am, and I feel like it's such a good, peaceful place to be. I'm happy that we're doing this, that we're showing up for ourselves. That is just making me even happier. The fact that we're here, we're shooting, we have all this amazing stuff
going on.
I know you guys are only seeing us too, and it looks so effortless, so easy, but like there's a whole lot of other things around us, and I'm just so grateful that we're doing it. So yeah, feeling very happy. How are you feeling?
I'm good, but I'm very, very grateful. Grateful in a sense that this has been in the pipeline for a very long time, and the fact that we're on our third episode is amazing. Grateful that we got to wake up today, we're alive, we're here, and we know that we are hoping on the other side that you are also well, doing great, and just grateful for showing up for ourselves. I think that's the one thing we speak about a lot, showing up for yourself in whatever sense that is. You need to just get up and show up. Even if it means you're getting up, you are showing up for yourself, and that is important. And as queens, when we come, we get up for the night.
We show up.
Like you see us, we are here, we are dressed up for the night. So Delia is going to tell you about her outfit and what inspired it and the story behind it, and then I'm also going to do the same thing.
Guys, you know this. Like, we don't just come here and shoot a video and like that's it. We literally, we dress up. Like, this is the one YouTube channel that I know where people take so much thought and consideration in their outfits. So today I'm wearing the same outfit that I wore at my workshop, Mr. South Africa workshop. It was the very first workshop after casting. So we had day 1, which was casting. They were choosing the top 100, which ended up becoming, because we were so many, they ended up making it 103 or 10. something like that. And then day 2, we came through and I knew, I had seen how many we were. We had to shoot headshots, which was actually the same headshot that I used for my my billboard, like that massive billboard.
Massive.
In KZN, that's where it had this top. And this is a very nice outfit that I got from Exito. It was sponsored by them. They are amazing. Please go check them out. They are great. And yeah, I mean, I decided let me wear it again because, again, it's that thing of wanting to stand out, wanting to show up, but also for me, it's like it's where the sisterhood that I got from Mrs. South Africa and the community that I made there, that's where it started. So yeah, tell us about your outfit.
So before I tell you about my outfit, but just to add on to that, I think the key thing for us is that we are going to try to wear as many outfits as possible that relate to our journey because like we said, the journey is what solidified us sitting here today. At first it was just an idea, we spoke about it, but once we did the misses, we knew that, okay, this is what is going to give birth to our YouTube channel. And also just now you get to see our outfits much longer because we'll be here talking to you guys. But this outfit...
And we can describe, we can talk about them now.
Explain the significance of the outfit. So this outfit actually I got from my amazing sister, like Nell. Like, I'm going to talk about her later on, but you'll get to know about my amazing sister.
Amazing big sister, by the way, even for me.
Yeah, so I got this outfit, and this I wore when I attended Deliwe's Mrs. South Africa first breakfast. I think it was their first breakfast. And I think this color just feels so well on my skin. It just glows with my skin. And I think green for me is always such an important color because it's part of nature. It speaks money, it speaks growth, it speaks enrichment, and that's who we're about. That's what we're about: enriching ourselves, enriching our lives, enriching our community, our kids, to as far as possible people that we can get. We just want to enrich, enlighten, and grow. So now that you know about our beautiful outfits, we're going to tell you the topic for today. And I think this for us is very important. You know, previously when we spoke about preparation. And I think when we closed off, the key element after you've prepared, you've done your planning and preparation is accountability. And you know us, we will never say something and not give you a definition.
A description.
Like you need to know it's
what
important.
What does Google say about this topic, right?
So Google says accountability is an assurance that an individual or organization is evaluated on its performance or behavior related to something of which it is responsible for. So there is a responsibility.
That's such a long definition, by the way.
Yeah, so I'm going to break it down to
break it down, girl. Break it down.
So there needs to be a person, there needs to be responsibility, there needs to be performance, action. So, and I think the key thing that I liked is they spoke about an individual or an organization. So meaning that it starts with you. You need to take that and say, as Katleho, what am I accountable for? So with my journey of Mrs. South Africa, I remember, I think accountability for me
Universe Africa.
Oh, did I say Mrs. South Africa? Oh my gosh. Mrs. Universe
Maybe
Africa.
A sign.
That's why
Maybe a sign.
We're talking about accountability because you need to have that person that will say to you, hello girl, what did you just say there? Okay, so with Mrs. Universe Africa, I think before getting into the journey, I watched this video at Oprah where she spoke about nobody is coming for you. Like, I think it hit me then to say that in life, nobody's coming for you.
Nobody's coming to save you.
You know, so the only person that is responsible for you, how far you progress, where you go in life, is yourself. So accountability for me started with that it has to begin with self. And then when we went to our first workshop, there was a lady there, Paula. She spoke about how in her life, she had, if there's a tick box, you know, she followed the right channels. She went to church, went to school, graduated on record time, got her honors, got married, had children. And somehow she said she felt like she was waiting for this voice that would say to her, Paula, now move on to the next step, to do this, do that. And that never came, it never came. Or maybe she heard it, but maybe not in the voice that she wanted to hear it in, right? And I think when she explained that story, it resonated so much with me that maybe Linda, all along, I had been waiting for this massive voice, that like a God voice, Katlego, do this. And
Dear
in that,
Queen.
in that moment, I knew that it had to start with me. So accountability really just starts with you.
It does. It does. I agree. And I mean, perfectly put. I think accountability starts with you, because at the end of the day, when you build your accountability community partners, because you will, that's where it starts with you, but then it goes on to other people.
Absolutely.
This is not something
Yes.
that was never said. It's something that we thought of individually, and then we came to each other with it, and then we became each other's accountability partners for this, about this, and then we involved even our camera crews and whatnot, and now everybody kind of knows this has to happen, and then everybody is now a community, part of the community for Dear Queen. You guys are part of that now, but I mean, it really does
Definitely.
start with you, as you say, and it goes on to other people. So that for me is very important, that there's many different layers to accountability. It grows. It's like, it's what will lead you to where you're trying to go. And when it starts with you, then you tell someone else. So before you even get to that point, you need to believe it yourself that, okay, this is what it is. And, we spoke about this in the car when you're coming here,
we did.
that actually at the end of the day, you know what you want to do, right? You believe, like God has spoken to you somehow, or you speak to yourself and say, this is what I want to do. And you have it somewhere at the back of your mind, somewhere deep down in your heart, to say, this is actually what you should be doing.
Yeah.
Perhaps it is a YouTube channel, perhaps it's a podcast, perhaps it's, I don't know, anything, a degree.
Whatever. Business, a degree, being a
Right?
mother, running,
Yeah.
exercising,
Gymming.
Yeah.
Maybe that's your thing. And then for you to even get to the part where you have a community of people that now message and say, hey guys, 5 o'clock Ziawa at the
We are at the gym.
Before you become part of that community, you need to have started, and you need to believe in your heart, in yourself, that this is what I actually want to do.
And I think the word that you're saying when you're saying you need to believe, it needs to be clear. Very clear. Clarity. It needs to be clear for you. You need to understand it, because for me to articulate it to Deliwe and say, I want to enter Mrs. Universe Africa. I want to lose maybe 20 pounds. I want to build muscle. I want a YouTube channel. It needs to be clear for me first. So that when I tell her about it, she understands it, and then she can hold me accountable and say, well, did you run this morning? Did you fill in that entry form for Mrs. Universe Africa,
And therefore the expectation, right?
Yes.
Because okay, there's clarity now, which is great. We've established that this is what you want to do. You want to, like I want, and this is what I want, guys, for real, a 6-pack. It's
working on it.
Okay, since
Yoga
last
and
year.
all. Yoga
Since
and
last
all,
year, I was
she's
like,
here.
I want a 6-pack, and it's been a journey. It's been, yay, but it's getting there. We will get there. And when I have it, I'm going to.
You know what she's basically saying? That the next time you see her, she'll be wearing skin top versus stomach.
Let me tell you, eventually, I'm going to come here with a crop top. You guys are going to see like 6-pack that is clear. Literally, I'm going to put baby oil on it, and you guys will know. That's what I'm working towards. So I mean, when you are now clear about what you want to do, right? And now it's a matter of expectation. So am I expecting that next week I'm going to come here and there's going to be a 6-pack? No, because that's highly unrealistic.
True.
Then what is the thing? Like that community that you would have built, that personal trainer that you would have gotten, that accountability partner, that sister, that friend needs to then, that mentor, that life coach will be able to advise you in that actually, maybe not next week.
What are the expectations? Are they realistic? And I think that's the key thing here, that with expectations, they need to be realistic. Even your community that you have built needs to say to you, Katlego, if you want to lose weight, in 2 months, it's not going to happen. It will happen, yes, in 3 months. So the expectation is in 3 months, it's a realistic expectation. What are you doing to get
to that?
Yes. So
Exactly.
that is very important, that it needs to be clear there needs to be realistic expectation
Yeah.
for it to happen.
Exactly. And then you also need to think about implications, right? Because at the end of the day, what is the implication of you not doing this? I mean, for me, it's very simple. I'm not going to have a six-pack. If I don't work out, I'm not going to have a six-pack. And that's the implication. And what that means for me is just like...
No crop top.
You know,
no cover.
when I teach a yoga class, like you guys are just gonna see Mkaba, and I don't like that. Like, no, I want a six-pack. I want you guys to see a six-pack. I mean, that's just my thing. My husband and I laugh about this all the time, but it's actually a real thing, and it's gonna happen. But the implication is very serious. I think it's a very serious thing, because even when you take it all the way to, let's just say, the Bible, right? When I think it's Samuel, is it Samuel, ne? Samuel's mother Hannah, before she had Samuel, she couldn't have kids for a very long time. She was married to a husband who loves her and everything, but she just couldn't have kids. And she one time went and prayed and said, God, if you give me a son, that will be your child. I will dedicate him to you. And that's all that God wanted. God wanted her to then say that, because God had plans for this person. Yes. It is that serious, this thing, that like, the end of the day, what is the implication of you not doing the thing that you want to do? Perhaps what you want to do is start Coco Melon or something like that in Venac. You know? Which is actually a good idea. Somebody please do it. If you don't do that, what is the implication? The implication is that our kids are going to grow up seeing this English thing, and there's no vernac, and they never learn how to speak the language. And I mean, it's just, you know what I mean? That's just how serious it gets when it comes to implication.
Yeah, I think the consequences of, and funny, actually it's not funny, it's very serious. The implications are always so dire, and they lead to, most of the time, regret. Because if you don't do something, you'll be sitting one day and said, had I done it, you know, then things would have turned out so amazing. Yeah. So always, if you are rating it, so there's clarity, you can put 20%. There is, what was our next point? Clarity.
Expectation.
Expectation. So expectation, put 20%. Put 60% on implication, because that will drive you to do it, to wake up even when it's difficult, to phone Deliwe and say, Deliwe, I'm struggling as my accountability partner. I've hit a block. How do I get to the other side? What do I need to do? And I think also having accountability partner, it's a soundboard. The minute I say something to you that, Deliwe, I am stuck, I'm not reaching my goal, which is to have a six-pack. So she'll say, okay, in order to have a six-pack, you need to do cardio, you need to do 20 sit-ups. If those sit-ups are not working, I can say, take it to 25. Then you know that at least I am improving. But always put a bigger number on the implication, because the implication will force you and will drive you to action. Yeah. Action. Yeah.
And that's it. Like, action is, this whole thing is actually, it's a repetition, right? Like, you don't gym and then you're done. Yes. You do it for the rest of your life. Isn't that crazy, actually? But that's how it is, right? Like, the action is that once you've started, because of the whole thing that you've built, because at this point you would have built a whole community of accountability partners, a whole sisterhood, a whole brotherhood, if you will, literally everything around you, and you're at a point where you know the implications are dire. I mean, I remember I actually went to your ladies' breakfast, Mrs. Universe Africa ladies' breakfast last year, and I can remember it wasn't a break, it was a lunch or something.
Yes, it was high tea. It was a high tea.
Yeah. I remember this lady who is the Lazy Makoti. She spoke about how when she had this dream, she had this idea, she had this vision of not even introducing, but what she basically did with the Lazy Makoti, which is home-cooked South African food, right? And it's something that is, right, it's something that is so powerful, because you don't think about it, you're like, she's teaching me how to do malam khodu, my grandmother did. But actually, the implications of not doing it for her, it like how she broke it down to me sitting there, I was just like, geez, wow, I actually had goosebumps from
just thinking about it now.
Yeah, that the implications,
are very,
very dire.
What she said was, if somebody doesn't do it, eventually the only people that know how to do it is our grandparents.
Yeah.
Nobody is passing on the baton.
Yes.
So it will die. It's the same as with us, you know, Hubua, our home languages at home with our kids. If we don't do it, it will die.
Oh my gosh,
you know?
it's so scary actually.
Yeah, it is. It's
because
scary.
they may never know their language. They may never know how to speak isiZulu, Sesotho, which is the scariest thing for me. Like very scary. So I always tell my dad, I'm like, please.
They must just. And I think also just thinking about implication. I mean, for us, just talking about this channel. So we've started a YouTube channel, and the implication is that we connect with you queens. We talk to you, you talk back with us, you get to know who we are, we share ideas. But the implication just doesn't go that far. The implications of this is that we're going to touch people all over the world.
Yeah.
It's going to become a multi-million, billion-dollar, zillion empire that will employ people.
Yes.
You know, so it's like a dominoes effect that's got good things coming.
Yeah. And huge implications if you don't do it. Because that's the thing, this is not, and we say this when we start, that we're talking to you, with you, and about you, because it really is that, and you're a queen. Because you are a queen, and we want you to know that, to believe that. Can you imagine that there is somebody somewhere that doesn't feel as though they feel like, you know, everything is just like, these people say that to motivate us, but really I'm not it, I'm nowhere near. And actually we're here to tell you that you're amazing. We want to learn from you, we want you to learn from us, we want together so we can move forward and do amazing things, not just for us but even for our kids. That's what we really want, and that's why we have Dear Queen. And the implication of us not having started this, I mean, I'm looking forward to watching this in years to come and saying, can you imagine if we never started this? Like, what would have happened?
True. So true. So I think, like we said, accountability is very important. It's that community that you build. It's the sisterhood. But also with accountability, I think it's very key that you choose people, you choose a network that is compatible to your goal, that is realistic. So Deli, we're now saying that she wants to get a six-pack. She can't now go, I don't know, I can't even think of an example, but it's very important that your accountability partners need to understand, be in not necessarily the same industry, but the same mindset of where you want to go. Because once they commit to being your partner, it's easy for them to have a list and say, from this list, you have committed to this. I understand the goal, and the goal is to reach a six-pack. Are you doing your sit-ups every day? Are you doing the crunches every day? Are we reaching out to you, you know, as our dear queens? Are we reaching out to you and speaking to you about things that affect you, things that touch you? You know, it's like, I think with this channel, the one thing that I'm taking from it, and also our journey in Mrs. South Africa and Mrs. Universe Africa, is when you watch people on the other side of the screen, you always think it's not doable. Up until you take that first step and say, I'm going to do it. I mean, in our journey, we never thought we'd be able to raise money. We were able to knock on doors and raise money.
Queen.
And do queen-like things, you know, queen-like things. So it is doable, it is possible, but your accountability partners have to have the same vision that you have for yourself in order for you to achieve that goal.
Yeah, and I'd like to just say this, and you know, it's from at the back of what you're saying about our journeys. We did the most impossible. Yo, guys, I can't even impossible things. And I remember sitting down with my mentor. Her name is Sandra. Love her so much. Please follow her. Sandra said to me, you can do it, Queen. I look at you and I see that you can do it. I'll be honest with you, in that moment, I mean, I wasn't as empowered as I am right now, but yet I was willing, I was eager, and I was like, I want to, like, if it's doable, is it really doable? Can you really get like somebody to give you 27,000, like, just I don't have a lot of followers. I'm not like a big, huge influencer at the time. I have about 1,000 followers on my Instagram. But I mean, I've never heard of, I mean, people work very hard to get to a point where they get 27,000 from people just to post for them on social media. And she said to me, listen, you can do it. You have more followers than I did when I was doing the thing. And I actually got all those, like I made all the targets and I did it. And she just did it like 2 years ago, like from when I did it. And I was like, I looked at it and I was like, thank you. And I feel like that for me was exactly what I needed because I realized that not having a mentor, not having somebody that was an accountability partner for me, pushing me and saying, yes, this, you're doing it right, keep going. Not having that for me would have been so detrimental.
Yeah.
The implication would have been that I actually wouldn't have been able
You wouldn't
to.
have started it. And you know what is the thing that you said? Sandra said, I know you can do it.
Yes.
Before you even, your accountability partner said, I know you can do it. And the fact that she believed in you gave you courage and that's what you need. I mean, I remember when I did my dignity pack, you know, my sister kept on saying, Katla, you can do this. Here's a number. Call this person, knock on this door. You know, there was a point where I went to a shop and I asked them if they could donate just sanitary pads, Colgate, and they did so willingly because they understood my need to want to make a difference. You know, they were not my accountable partners, but they understood the core of what I was trying to do. But the fact that Neo said, you can do it, made me believe that I can do it. And it pushed me. You know, at the back of my head, I could always hear her saying, you can do it, you can do it. So it's very important that you have that network, a realistic network, a realistic sisterhood that will walk this journey of accountability with. Yeah. And the one thing that also you must never forget is self. You know, once you are on that road, don't forget self. Always take self with. Self with,
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, you, again, it comes back to you.
Yes.
Right? You are the starter, the one that knows what needs to happen. You know, you're the one that knows what you need to do, you know, how to, like, at the end of the day, where to go. And these people are just going to help you in the journey. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know the vision. I know that Sandra knew, and she knew, she said, you can do it. And I got a big, beautiful car. Like literally Renault came and they sponsored, not only did they give me 27,000, which was literally nothing for them, it was like a drop in an ocean for them. They also gave me a car to drive around. And they're like, yeah, we want to sponsor you, but we want to do more. What else can we do?
You know?
If they had a flying machine, they'd just give it.
They'll be like, here's a jet. Do your thing.
Do your thing, fly around for us, you know? And I feel like that's, and she was so proud and she said, I knew you could do it. And it's always that you can do it, but then the extent to which you can do it is always something that you know yourself.
Yes.
And, you know, we were saying this earlier, at the end of the day, we want to leave you with that accountability leads to a sisterhood.
Yes, a sisterhood, a network, you know. And I think what I'm seeing right now is, you know, a tree, you'll see this one body. But when you go down, it's all the roots that spread out to the different networks, the different sisters. And all of them come in and they feed you so that whatever it is that you're trying to build, whether it's been corporate, whether it's been starting your own business, own YouTube channel, they are there just to feed you through so that you can flourish. January to December, you are flourishing.
Yes.
You are flourishing.
Amazing.
Yeah. So remember, accountability is important. Starts with self.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Until next time, we'll see you next time in our next video when we discuss sisterhood.
Yeah, look out for that. Bye. Love you.
Love you.